If you want to be that person, you have to have a certain mindset. And that's what my mindset is. It's not even about, this is what's interesting. It's not even about truth. And I know that sounds crazy. It's not so much of me looking and going, what's true? It's more about me believing in what I need to believe to be as successful as possible. I understand that it's truthful that if somebody shoots me with a gun, I'm probably going to die. But I will not believe that because I don't think that's advantageous to me. I believe it's advantageous for me to say, go on, then fucking shoot me. I guarantee you you're dead. I guarantee you I ain't gonna die and I'm coming for you. And if I truly believe it, I think it gives me a better chance. That's just who I am. I only believe and say and think the things that give me as much power as humanly possible. That's just the guy I am. And as many people are gonna sit there and say, Tate, you're delusional, you're a narcissist. You go through the world saying you're super lucky and that you're bulletproof and you can do all these crazy things. It's impossible for you to be depressed. You're a narcissist. Perhaps. Look at my life and look at yours. Yep. So let's talk about it let's look at it in pure metrics. Who came from a worse scenario at the start? Who had a worse background? Me. Who's now more successful? Me. Who's happier? Me. Who smiles more? Me. Who sleeps easy at night? Me. Why the fuck would I want to think like you? If thinking this way makes me a bad person, but I get fucking fantastic results from my entire life and everybody close to me gets fantastic results from knowing me and everybody close to me absolutely adores me, why would I want to adopt your thinking and be a sad fucking sack of shit sitting on the internet trying to cancel people like a dork? I don't want to be my enemies. There's not a single enemy I have that I'm remotely envious of in any regard. Every single one of them has a shit life and a shit existence. I already won. God's already punished them. God's already rewarded me. I know these things. I'm the luckiest man on the planet. You have to say these things and you have to truly believe them. Do you deserve to be happy?
I think a man should have absolutely no interest in whether he's actually happy or not. If I wake up and I'm unhappy, I will do the exact same things as if I am happy. I will go to the gym the same. I will work the same. How I feel has no impact on how I live my life. I don't think happiness as an index is a healthy view for a man to have on life success. Women are different. Women just want to be happy, right? Women just want to smile. They don't care how. They don't care if they deserve it or not. As long as they get to smile, women are happy. That's women. But I think for a man, if you're waking up and going, am I happy? Am I not? You're looking at life wrong. I think of a man, if you put happiness if you move it down the scale, right? And you start looking at, am I successful? Am I competent? Am I achieving things? Am I respected? If you start to look at these indicators of your life, you're gonna end up being happier without actually analyzing if you're happy or not.
Genuinely, every single person watching this, go look in the mirror after this stream, go into the bathroom, look in the mirror. Do you deserve to be happy? Look yourself in the eye. The answer is probably fucking not. You don't deserve it. When you're hungry, it's your body telling you need to eat some food. That's fine. You react to that. When you're depressed, your body's telling you need to change your life. And if you're feeling that for long periods of time and then not changing your life, well, you don't deserve to be happy. You don't deserve it. Everything in life that is valuable must be earned. Peace of mind must be earned. Happiness must be earned. I'm happy because I earned it. I get to be top G. Of course, I'm fucking happy. I'm me. When I look at the lives of people who tell me they're depressed, I look at them and think, you know what? If I was you, I'd be fucking depressed.
Facts.
If I was you, I'd be depressed. So of course you're depressed because your life is shit. But whose fault is that?
Yeah.
That you have to take some personal responsibility for it. And what they'll do is they'll try and outsource it. Well, I had a bad start, or this happened to me, that happened to me. World ain't fair. Suck it up, buttercup. Shit happens to everybody. I could sit here and be an unsuccessful piece of shit, and I got 10 stories to tell you why I have excuses to do exactly that. And here I am, top G. So that's life. That's life. You have to get shit done. So yeah, if you live a depressive life, you're gonna feel depressed. If you lived my life, you wouldn't feel depressed. So now you know what to fucking do. Now you're either gonna get up and do it, or you're gonna sit there and stay depressed. And that's why these people are so desperate to defend the idea that depression can't be solved. When you tell the world that depression can't be solved, what you're doing is absolving yourself from all responsibility. I no longer have to stand up and work hard and try and be something because it doesn't matter how hard I work because I'll be depressed anyway. They know that's a lie. They're just trying to they're being ignorant on purpose to avoid doing the hard work. That's all it really is.
So a lot of people are labeling themselves, and I absolutely refuse to take my own power away. There are so many things in the world trying to kill us. If you got enemies, you got people on the streets with blades, you got bacterias, fucking lions. Oh, I've got enough enemies, bruv. Sharks want me dead. I've got enough enemies. Why am I gonna take my own power away?
Another thing that's really important, I say this all the time, nearly every word that comes out of my mouth is self-hypnosis. Every word that comes out of my mouth is self-hypnosis. And it's the same for everybody watching this. Every single word you speak is self-hypnosis. Every single thing you say out of your own mouth is almost more important than the things you hear from other people.
Amen.
You can't be sitting there saying, I'm depressed. I got a generational curse. I'm unlucky, bro. You can't be saying these things because you're reaffirming them within your mind. I don't do that. I said at the beginning of this stream, I do not believe in things that take away power from me. I only believe in things that make me more powerful as an individual. Yep. Now, I cannot deny that feeling depressed is real because every single human on the planet sometimes feels depressed. Feeling depressed is real, but being a depressive or having depression is something else. I accept that if I do feel depressed or I do feel sad or I do feel negative, which is actually very rare for me, but if it does ever happen, I understand I'm human and it's an emotion I'm going through and it will pass. People who have depression believe that they have a disease that can't be fixed and can't be cured. You are handing your power away. You're giving your power to an outside source and you're saying that I have no control over this. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. You need to at least believe you have some degree of control. When I say depression isn't real, I'm not saying you don't feel depressed. I'm saying that you can fix it. It's not a disease that you caught from the sky. You can fix it by taking control of your own mind.
And this is what people really don't yet understand. There's only one thing on the planet you actually have control over. You can't control the weather. You can't control your health. You can get a brain aneurysm or a heart attack. You can't control other people. The only thing you can actually really truly control is what you think. That's the only thing you can change in real time. You can be thinking of red and change it to blue. So why are you not controlling your own mind? It's your asset. It's your ally. It's your friend. Why would you make an enemy out of the only thing you have control over? I refuse to do that. It doesn't make sense to me. The worst thing on earth that could happen to a man could happen to me. And I guarantee you, I would still label myself happy. I'm happy because that's who I am. That's how I view myself. That's what I've decided.
If you truly want to win, you can't only want to win when you're happy and you can't only want to win when you're motivated because you're competing against people like me who want to win all of the time. And unfortunately, it's player versus player. Every single girl that you want, every single dollar that you want, I also want. You're competing against men like me who will perform even when it's raining, not only when the sun is shining. And if you're going to be the kind of person who can only do it in one of those scenarios, you are going to lose. You must be prepared to perform all of the time.
What we were saying earlier about player versus player is absolutely not really true. If it's player versus player and you're competing against everybody else, because you're competing against everybody else all the time, and you want to also on top of that be low energy and lethargic and lazy, well then you just don't stand a chance. You'll get wrecked. There are people out here who are prepared to work their ass off.
Yeah.
If you're not going to be that guy, then you're going to fucking lose.
I have a lot of people who message me and say, I struggle with motivation. And my answer is simple. Then stay a loser. If you can't find the motivation to not be a loser, then I strongly recommend you just stay a loser, stay in your lane, stay out of my way. I have no time for people who cannot find the motivation to fix themselves and fix their own lives. I've been the kind of person who will perform 7 days a week. It doesn't matter how I feel, it doesn't matter what's happened, it doesn't matter if I'm happy or sad, things must be done. And this is the mindset you need to adopt if you want to be a winner.
Yeah, happiness is a very interesting subject for men. Happiness is the number one thing that must be earned. And I'll tell you that my happiness is based on very real world achievements. I couldn't be happy if I was broke. I couldn't be happy if I was obese. I couldn't be happy if I was lonely. I couldn't be happy if I wasn't respected. I couldn't be happy if I couldn't whoop a dude's ass. I couldn't be happy in those scenarios. So I made sure none of them scenarios came true. I have earned my happiness via hard work. It's the top of a mountain, which I have climbed. I deserve it. I deserve to go to sleep with a smile on my fucking face and wake up between two bitches. That's what I fucking deserve. And every single guy who hasn't got it probably doesn't deserve it. And when I got attacked by the Matrix, when they attacked me and they accused me of all these different things, etc., which is numerous and all incorrect, I was explaining and they were saying to me, oh yeah, but the expectations you're giving of men of life is unfair and all this crap. And I was saying, no, I'm just saying that the only life worth living as a man is a man of dedication and purpose and becoming important. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're Joe Schmo as a man, it sucks. So stop being Joe Schmo. I'm telling the younger generation that if they don't get up and work hard and make sure that they're important, that the world's not going to give a shit about them. As a man, you're born with no inherent value. You have to become important. You have to go through some pain and go through some suffering to make people care about you. Otherwise, you're not going to matter. And when I say this about the difference between men and women, you think I'm attacking females. Absolutely not. I'm not attacking women. I'm just saying that a woman can wake up, put makeup on, go to the club, go to the party, and still be a jewel. She still exists. People still want her. As a dude, if you walk into the party and you put no effort into your life, nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about you. And every man out here knows. And one of the great things about the masculine journey and masculinity is that we've all lived a semi-similar story. It's kind of cool. Like, we've all been the teenager gets heartbroken. We've all been unimportant. We've all like worked hard and then started to get some clout. And then we've all kind of lived the same kind of journey. So I say to everybody out there, yeah, if you don't follow that path and follow that journey and in one way or another get to the top, whether it's fighting, whether it's comedy, whether it's musician, whatever it is, If you're just going to stay somewhere near the bottom and then at the age of 44, email me saying I'm depressed, well, of course you're depressed because you're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
But that was your choice because you have to build yourself as a man. And if you decide not to build yourself, then your life's going to suck. I can't imagine life as a man who wasn't competent, but I know for sure it must be miserable. It must be miserable. You're a feather in the wind. You're just being blown by the tides of life and you're just getting knocked from place to place. And you've handed all control of your life over to somebody else. And those people who you've handed control over to, whether it's the government, whether it's your job, whether whoever it is, they care about you less than you should care about yourself. And it's just a bad decision to make. Why would I see somebody as my equal? Why would I sit there and see you as my equal when I've suffered my entire life to be valuable and you've refused to suffer and just sit around on your ass all the time?
Good.
When I've gone through endless pain to be the man I am, and then you just sit there and talk like we're equals. We're not equals. I've been through shit. You decided not to go through shit. That's fine. That was your life decision. That's your prerogative.
Yeah.
But you have to live with those decisions. You can't complain now that I get to be top G and you don't. That was your choice.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, that's the thing about being a man, and that's what I was saying to the kids. It's like, look, you need to get up, and it's going to be very, very difficult. The world's getting harder and harder, especially for men. It's all clout, it's all status. There's no way you're going to matter unless you get up and you work extremely hard. And for some reason, they thought I was toxic. That's what they wanted me to do. They wanted me to quit and be demotivated. And I'll make it clear now, I've been massively successful on my new platform, Rumble. But even if I had one subscriber, I would be posting just like before, podcasts just like before. I'm indefatigable. I do not give up. I do not get tired. I do not quit. That's what they want. That's what the enemy wants from me. They want to try and win a war of attrition. They want to wear me down and hope I quit and give up and go, oh, I'm not getting any traction now. I don't have YouTube. This is going to be hard, etc. I am not that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who keeps going. And if you're truly indefatigable in life and perspicacious, that's my favorite saying, the one I say all the time, unmatched perspicacity coupled with sheer indefatigability makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. It's absolutely and utterly true. If you pay attention to the things that are happening around you and you do not quit, you will be a dangerous opponent in any realm of human endeavor. It doesn't matter what you try and do. Cancel me, fucking cancel me again, do it again. It ain't going to change anything. I'm a man who lives true to God and says what he means and means what he says. And I know the things I say are good for society and good for the world. I didn't put a fucking magic spell on anybody. The reason people listen to me is because they like what I say and they know that I'm telling the truth. That's the reason I am here. And I'm going to continue to do that. And there's nothing anybody can fucking do about it.
I've said it before that bullying is good and it's needed, especially for men. Maybe not as much for women, but I think it's extremely important for a man's development. And because my dad used to, grow up, being an adult now, I'm 32 years old. My dad used to bully me now that I think about it, but it made me stronger so that when I got bullied by other people, I was able to deal with it. Versus because it's a controlled environment. They're not going to give you something you can't handle, your own parents.
Completely. It's small doses of poison. So that it's the olden emperors of Rome used to eat small doses of poison with every single meal. So then when they got poisoned for real, they didn't die. And that's it. If you're raised too soft, then you're not ready for the world. Like, I had to face all my fears instantly, all the time. That's who my father was. So now if I have a fear to face now as a man, my entire life I've just faced them instantly. That's just who I am. That's what I do, right? And we're all human. We all get scared. If 5 people pull knives on me and I know I can't run away and I have to fight, I'm be like, all right, shit. Well, I can't run. So the other option's fight. Am I going to sit and beg? Well, they're obviously here to hurt me. So now it's on. That's just how I was raised. I would never rob my son of the opportunity of growing up to being that man. There's something that's so brilliant, so it's satisfying to your core. It's like an evolutionary adaptation when you feel genuine competence as a man. There's something that oozes from you. Look at James Bond. The reason James Bond is James Bond is because he's good at everything. He can drive, he can fight, he can shoot, he's got all this money, he's smart, he's suave, he's a millionaire, whatever. That there's something about having competence as a man that genuinely satisfies your soul. How can I go to sleep and be sad at night when I know that I'm one of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet? When I know there's not a single scenario in which somebody paired against me will be happy about the pairing. It doesn't matter what it is. If you were to go out there, I've never even, let's choose something random. What do white people? Wakeboarding. I've never wakeboarded in my life, right? But if you were to go out there and choose someone else who's never wakeboarded before, and they said, you're gonna have a wakeboarding competition, you're gonna wakeboard against somebody who's never wakeboarded either, but if you lose, there's gonna be serious consequences. But your competitor is Tate. Part of them's gonna go, oh, fuck, why Tate? I've never even wakeboarded. They have no reason to fear me besides the fact that it's my last name and they know that I am indefatigable and perspicacious and that I am a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. I have absolutely not a competence that runs through my veins. I do not fucking fail, and the world knows that. How can I be unhappy in this scenario? How can I be unhappy as this person, as this avatar to fucking attack the simulation? My father built me to be this man. I would be a terrible father to rob my son of that opportunity, which means if his ass has to go fight orcs, imaginary orcs in a darkened room at the age of 2.5, then guess motherfucking what? That's what you're going to do, because I'd be a shit parent to raise him any other way.
Well said, DeMarco, for that one, my friends. And you know what? Speaking of which, someone here gave a super chat. It goes, Andrew, as somebody who didn't grow up with a father, I found paternal guidance through the example you and Tristan have shown. Thank you for your service to men worldwide. I'm working to afford the War Room ASAP. And I want to talk about that for a second. And that comes from KY Music. When you got your masculinity on point and you're a guy that people look up to sometimes, I've always said that a strong father is a strong father through generations and through other people. And what I mean by that, his example will be felt from generations down the road, and other people will be influenced by that same person. A lot of people look to me and say, Myron, you're like my older brother. I look up to you, etc. You guys aren't really looking up to Myron. You guys are looking up to my dad. That's who you guys are looking up to. That's who I emulated. And that's why it's so important to have a father, because if you have a strong father, not only will he guide you, then you become that man, and other people are going to look to you and you can guide those people. So one strong man can literally change generations of other families if he's strong enough. And that's what you're doing, Andrew, as well. You and your brother came from a strong father, and you guys have been able to impart that wisdom, that strength, that ability to not be fatigued through bullshit. And people are learning from it. For the guys out there that don't have fathers or big brothers.
Absolutely. And it's a natural state of being for a person who's confident with themselves and knows that they're speaking the truth. And also it pleases God, and it pleases the universe, and it pleases the world. And that's what I'm here to do. I do not see the advantage in me taking all the amazing lessons I had and the fantastic lifestyle I built and keeping it all completely and utterly for myself and disappearing. That's what a insecure person would do. That's what a sad person would do. I'll give you an example. If I meet a rich guy who's like a fat, short dork, he never wants to tell people how to get rich. Have you ever talked to like a fat, short dork guy who has a bunch of money and you ask him how to make money? Oh yeah, well, he'll give you some bullshit answer, because he knows the only differentiator he has is money. That's all he has. If other people make money, then he ain't got shit anymore. Whereas me, I'll tell the whole world how to get rich. I don't give a fuck. You can get as rich as you want. I'm still top G.
Right.
I don't care how much money you have. I'll smack you up. It doesn't make a difference to me, right? So when you genuinely are happy within yourself, you're prepared to help other people. I want everybody watching this stream to be as confident and fantastic with women as possible. Do you think I give a shit if the 16,000 people watching this all become Casanovas? You think I'm going to be walking around thinking I'm getting no pussy? You think I'm scared? I love helping the world because I have genuine happiness within myself. I want every single person watching this stream to be as successful as possible. I talk about this all the time. One of the things that differentiates the people who listen to me and like my content and fans of mine as opposed to my enemies or my opponents is that the people who listen to me genuinely have better lives. Yeah. I want somebody to walk through life and them to go, look, his life's in order. Look, he's in fantastic shape. He's rich. He's confident. His head's held high. He must be a Tate fan. That's what I want. I want as many of my fans to be as successful as possible. That's why I have the things I have, the programs I have, and sell the things I do, because they're all completely and utterly dedicated towards the success of the people who understand my message. I'm not trying to detriment on anybody who believes in me. I want Tate fans to be the most capable, well put together, the most financially literate fans on the planet. Let all my enemies be the depressed ones. Oh, okay, the depressive crowd and the multimillionaires. Well, which team are you joining? Like, I'm out here to help as many people as possible. And I think it's a fantastic badge of honor for me to sit here and say that my fans are some of the most financially literate, well-off, educated, charismatic men on the planet. That's what I want for a Tate fan. I don't want anything else. I want the best for every single one of them.
And by default, you're building a network of guys that can fight the Matrix and stand on their own.
Absolutely. By default, I now have large groups of men who are extremely competent, who I'm close to. And that's what I want, right? The crazy thing about life and the crazy thing about war, it's always been the same. Getting money and getting status is absolutely and utterly important, because without those things, you're going to end up at the bottom of the ladder. Even if you're on the right team, you're going to end up at the bottom of the ladder, right? So if, let's say a country, whatever it is, America, were to conscript right now and go to World War III, if you have no money and no real skills, you're the dude who's in the trench getting blown up. You're the fucking cannon fodder. You're the guy walking over landmines to clear them out. But if you're rich or intelligent or have unique skills, then you might be the engineering corps, or you might be an officer, or you might be something else, right? So even in the worst possible cases, even the idea of World War III and mass conscription, having money and status and skills are still going to save you from ending up being the guy in the foxhole just getting blown to fucking smithereens for no reason. You always have to be that guy. So you always have to be upgrading and improving yourself. I'm telling you now, there is not a military alive that would conscript me and allow me to go die as a fucking GI nobody. They'd say the way he can motivate people, this motherfucker's an officer. We can't let him die. We can't let Top G die. That's bad for the morale of the army. But they'd protect me. They'd say, put Top G in the fucking somewhere safe. I'm like, nah, I'll go out the front line. I'm like, no, sir, you're too important for the front line. And that's because of the man I built myself to be. And it's been that way since the dawn of human time. You can protect yourself against the worst possible scenarios in life that can possibly happen to you by just becoming a man of genuine competence and skill. And that's why I don't understand how these men are just waking up each day and not trying to do exactly that. It's crazy.
Ani, speaking of military, great question here. And I think a lot of guys can learn. Guys, I'm prioritizing questions that guys can actually learn from and become better from. And this one's a great one. He goes, $100. Andrew, I'm in the Army and my best friend drowned 2 weeks ago. Broke my heart. I had to speak to his mother. We were both 20 years old. Every day I was progressing our relationship similar to your brothers in sense of brotherhood. Life felt vaporous. How do I deal with grief of my closest friend passing away?
Well, what does your closest friend want for you now that he's gone? If he was alive for an hour and you could talk to him, what do you think he'd be telling you to do? Would he be telling you to sit around and be sad? Would he be telling you to give up? Or would he be telling you to obviously speak to his mother, talk to her, stay in touch with the family, and be as fantastic as you possibly can? He'd be telling you to keep his memory alive. And what's amazing about being a fantastic person is that people are interested in your origin story, and that allows the people who you care about to live forever. The reason my father is discussed so often on the internet is because I'm so fantastic. People want to know about my upbringing. We just talked about it.
Yep.
I keep my father alive through my absolute competence and individualism and exceptionalism. My father lives forever through me. If I was Joe Schmo, who would be asking me about my father?
Yep.
Fucking nobody. So if you want to keep your best friend alive and he had an impact on your life, then you need to go out there and become the most fantastic person ever. So when people give a shit, because nobody's going to give a shit if you aren't fantastic, when people give a shit about your upbringing and the life you've lived, you can talk about your best friend and the experience you had and how his death affected you. If you go out there and become fantastic, then he gets to live forever. If you stay a nobody, then he doesn't. So if you truly give a fuck, then you know what to do. And it's actually amazing. But it's true. And it's actually amazing. The answer to 99% of questions or conundrums or scenarios that people come up and ask me, 99% of the time, the answer is work harder. My girl left me. What do I do? Hit the gym. My friend died. What do I do? Become exceptional. I'm sad. What do? Train. Like the answer is nearly universal.
Yep.
It's always working harder is never going to not help. No matter what scenario you're in, working harder is never going to not help you. And it's amazing that I give different versions of the same answer for 99% of the questions I'm asked. Work harder. If you have a problem, whether you're broke, whether you're out of shape, whether your fucking friend dies, whether your girl leaves you, whether you're depressed, whatever it is, working harder is almost always the answer. So you know what you need to do. You need to do it. And what's amazing, again, it's kind of like the antidote. If you take the antidote before the poison, then you never get sick in the first place. If you're always working as hard as possible, if you're always working your ass off and trying to be the best version of yourself every single day, then you never get sick in the first place. You're already working. You're already taking the antidote. So things can't attach to you. They can't get hold of you. If my best friend or the worst thing that could possibly happen is my brother, or anything happened to them, I know they'd live forever because I'm already amazing. I get to keep them alive forever because I'm already amazing. I've already done the work. I've already taken the antidote to the poison. So if you're working as hard as possible all of the time, then you already have all your answers before the problems even appear. I was working my ass off before the Matrix canceled me. And then the Matrix canceled me and I continued to work my ass off. And here I am, more famous than I was before the cancellation. Why? Because I already had momentum. I already had speed. I'd already taken the antidote to cancellation before they fucking hit me with the poison. Working hard is the antidote to everything. So why don't you just do it in advance? Why don't your life just become work like mine? Why don't you just dedicate yourself to a cause and fucking get up and do what you're supposed to do every single fucking day? If you do that, there's very little weapons that the Matrix can forge to attack you with. It's genuinely true.
Speaking of your brother, he sent a super chat in.
Yeah.
Is that
Was that? I didn't see.
Tom?
Oh. Tristan Tate, we've got reservations at 21:30. Shout out to Tristan Tate in the fucking chat, man.
The Slayer.
Yeah, we got 15 minutes. So we gotta go.
Yeah. All right, cool. So and guys, there you go. You got it right there, man. Like your job as a man is to create a legacy so people actually have something to remember and keep your name alive. And if people can't keep your name alive after you pass away, you didn't go hard enough when you were on this earth.